the followers, it's the homies, it's the friends, it's the family, whatever you want to call it. Thanks to you all, we give us the ability to connect with really dope people across the planet, especially melanated people, because it is really our time. It is. We've been through so much. We've experienced so many things. And to be honest with you, it's time that our stories really get out there and we get a better understanding about life and reality and things of that nature. With that being said, I have a super cool guest. Goes by the name of Lorenzo Williams, which is a true testament of life. For those of you who follow the Eurocentric Christian doctrine, know that he is a living and walking testimony. And for the spiritual people that don't particularly follow any doctrine, you can see that his understanding, his wisdom, his life is vibrating on a higher realm of consciousness. He began to understand who he was and what his mission was, because true wealth on this planet is truly health. I'm gonna tell you, your boy Steve Jobs literally had over billions of dollars in his bank account and he could not save himself. So we can't say it's always about the bag, even though the bag plays a process. Getting to the funds, the money, the green, the ducats, the dividends, the green ones, the dead guys, whatever generation era you're from, it is important. But however, what does it all matter when we all going in 6 feet deep into the ground, into a box? I don't care how tall your mausoleum is on the top of it. You're still about 6 feet deep in the ground inside of some type of box. Some people get buried in cars. It's still a box. Some people might get buried in planes. It's still a box you're sitting in. At the end of the day, that's all that matters is your health, your wealth, your family, and also your understanding about life. This young man was once diagnosed with cancer, man, at the age of 17 years old. So this defies the reason that there's no age to whereas you should start nor stop taking care of your body, if that's the understanding. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the good homie, my friend, Lorenzo Williams. Welcome to the show, my good brother.
Hey, man, well, thank you. I'm glad you're having me. Thank you for the great introduction. And I also like to thank, my team for introducing me to you. Had a chance to read some of your accomplishments. And I like to say, as a brother to brother, it's an honor to be in front of someone of your stature. You know what I mean? I heard you say that we often don't get a chance to hear our stories, what's going on in our realm. And I think that we got some legends that we've experienced in our own lives. You know what I mean? So I'm grateful to be here. And more than that, I'm grateful to be amongst the living, because just a little under 2 years ago, I was given 4 months to live. I walked into a doctor's office and the doctor asked me what was my plans for the next 3 months, that I needed to get my affairs in order, and I needed to go into hospice, and that I needed to just give up. I want to just say that because, those type of stories are all over. We're hearing a lot of people that's dying from ailments, and we have no one that's talking about the power of that's higher than us that can change things. So with that being said, this was just told to me in 2018 that I was going to perish. They told me legally that they had to give me 6 months to a year, but the guy told me that he didn't think I'd make it past 4. But that's not where the story begins. This is my second battle with cancer. When I was 17 years old, I was diagnosed with a cancer called cancer lymphoma, all right, which was a cancer of the lymph node cells, all right. The thing about all of this, y'all, in our culture, we don't really have a great understanding about our bodies and health. And so back then, being 17 years old, going through some of the things that we all go through with our families, there was some things going on when I had a big knot inside of my neck, bro, like right in my neck. Not here. This is where your thyroid is, here. All right. Your lymph nodes is all through your body. But I had a big knot in my neck and was rushed to the hospital. Doctor came back in and told me and my parents at that time that I had this disease and I was a stage 3. So they went in and they took the lymph node out of my neck. And then they told me that they needed to remove my spleen as well, because yeah, this was their format, because what we have to understand is, and we can go further into this, but I want to give this to you because my life is truly a miracle. But when we go to the doctor, we've been sold that they know what they're talking about and that they have the all in. But I just want to let my people know that we need to be more conscious, because a lot of that system, we need to understand that they're guessing, they're learning always. Just because they say something is what they believe it is, it doesn't mean that that's what it is. Okay. So at that time, being 17, my parents, they had where we lacked the knowledge in our community. And so they took my spleen, they took the lymph node out of my neck. Then they told my parents that they needed to shoot radiation inside of me. So then they shot radiation in my chest. And around that time, I was 17 going on 18, brother. And, as I began to go into this journey, I began to realize what happened to me. The radiation, obviously made my hair come out and blacken my body. So as an 18-year-old, now I understand better, but I lived in a whole lot of humiliation at that time in my life, brother, coming through that whole process. Long story short, because I stopped going because of the turbulence that was going on in my personal life and what was going on in, brother, what we went through. We talking the 80s, 70s, it was a lot going on in our communities and in our households. You get me? And
That's right.
so I just stopped going. I stopped going to treatment altogether, had to be rushed to the hospital. The doctor came back in and said, hey, there's no sign of cancer in his body anymore. That was the first miracle that I didn't even know that was a miracle. I just was living life, But later on in life, that same radiation never stopped working. Later on in life, that same radiation destroyed my thyroid. So my complete thyroid, which is right here, they shot me with the radiation in my chest. So my complete thyroid had to be taken out in my 40s. You got what I'm saying? So now I have no thyroid. Okay. But as the soldier that we are, we continue to go on. And I didn't at the time then, I wasn't educated on what the thyroid did. You got what I'm saying? But your thyroid is a regulator for the most inner parts of your whole structure. Your thyroid regulates your emotions. It regulates your potassium. It regulates so many different areas of your body. But I didn't know this, so my body was malfunctioning from the age of 18 in different areas with the grace of the Creator. And so I'm thinking I'm going on with life, and I just was dealing with something. I just want to share this real quick, because while I was in the middle of dealing with all of these things, life was happening. You got what I'm saying? And life and turbulence was going on. So I was in a marriage that didn't work at the time, and I'm not angry about any of that because the Creator gets all the glory. But right after that took place, I was noticing that I had some spotting going on, and the doctors would begin to contribute the spotting that I had. And I'm saying all this to my people to let you know that all of what we're talking about, I have educated myself on. All of what we're talking about, I've educated myself on, and I'm able to help individuals get through these processes that they might have to go through. And so I didn't know what was going on. So they contributed to a bladder infection.
Mm. Mm.
You know,
Mm.
so we're fast forwarding, I'm living life, I'm living my life after the thyroid is gone. I'm dealing with some things. And so now here I am right now, I'm 51 years old. But in 2018, the spotting was happening periodically over the years, but in 2018, it got out of control. So I was going back to the doctor and kept telling me that, hey, you had blood clots going on. And so I went into, it started getting worse. So it began to get to the point, my brother, to where I went to the bathroom and I would go to the bathroom to urinate. And I had blood clots coming out of my urethra the size of a 50-cent piece.
Wow. For you all that don't know, show them how big the urethra is. It's not big at all.
Well, if you're a man, and if you're a woman, but the urethra is where we urinate from. Am I correct?
It is, and it's a very small opening.
It's a very small opening. And so I had, and the size of a 50-cent piece was coming out. So I called my wife and I said, sweetheart, look at this right here. And my wife was like, oh my God, now that this is over, brother, I can laugh about it a little bit, man. I saw that come out of there and almost fainted.
For real.
So,
let's just let the people know as we build, because there's some people that may be new to this. You all, if it's red or brownish looking or green or something, that is not normal. Your urine's supposed to be, if it is going to be yellow, at least light yellow, if not all the way clear. Any darker color, dark yellow, dark brown, yes, calls for concern. Continue. I'm sorry.
It might be an issue. And to be really honest with you, my brother, when I was going in to get these things checked, I don't know if it was because of my race, my ethnicity, or I don't know if it was because of the insurance that I had, but I wasn't priority. And it took a drastic measure of aggressiveness for when my wife saw that. She said, hey, they got to do something. We went in and we made them go further. Well, when they went further, this was 2018, June 6th of 2018, is when they came back with my results. I went in, they finally went in and they did a procedure where they went up inside of there, and the doctor came into the office and told me that, sorry, sir, but what we see inside of you is bladder cancer. And the bladder cancer is in an area of your body where we can't get it out. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to cut your whole, we're going to have to take out your prostate, and we're going to have to take your bladder from you. Now, I'm sitting there after dealing with a life of trauma, and then this happens. And me and my wife, at the time, she was my fiance, my wife now, which is, praise God for, the sister saved my life. I have a whole new level of respect for what a helpmeet is in a man's life. I have a whole new level of respect of what the reason that we would have union and have someone that's on our side, because the Lord truly blessed me with a queen, and I'm grateful for that. She saved my life. So I want to share that. You got what I'm saying? Because I respect my queens, and thank you, sisters, for who you are. But we went in there and we sat in our car and we cried for a minute. Then me and my wife looked at each other and we said we was gonna fight. All right. So the plan was, we knew that the cancer was there, and I told my wife, I said, babe, I can't do that. I can't let them cut my bladder and my prostate out. I'm not gonna be able to do that. I can't live that way as a man. And the wife said, well, we're not doing that then. And we went on a journey. Man, we called Cancer Center of America. Now, just to go back just a little bit, this bladder that I had the bladder that I have is a unique bladder, and the cancer was hiding inside of a pocket inside of the unique bladder that I have. Okay. So there was no way for them to get to the cancer without figuring out how to get past these pockets. So the first doctor, his thing was, of course, ethnicity, I believe, and the level of insurance that I have, take it out. We got to take it out from you. And we decided to fight. First things first is my wife and I, we said that we were going to fight. We went on a journey. We called Cancer Center of America, okay? And you know, it's all over our commercials, also ever since we've been growing up. And so we called Cancer Center of America. Cancer Center of America told me, they said that we're going to need $25,000 in order to even look at your file. And you got to have $250,000 on retainer for us to take your case. Mind blowing. Okay. That wasn't the direction I could go, and they wasn't willing to compromise or work with us. So me and my wife, you know, that was mind blowing. Me and my wife, we made up our mind that we were going to change my diet immediately. So what we did is we said the plan is with my faith and the level of faith that we have, the plan is we're going to contain the cancer where it can't move until we figure out what to do with it. So we went on a journey where the first things first, what I would say to a person, just period, the first thing first was I had to change my diet. You got what I'm saying? And then I needed to detox myself. And the first thing that I had to make a decision to detox was my mind. My thinking was the first thing that I worked on when it came to me being given this kind of sentence. You know what I'm saying? So we went on this journey, and so my dad mentioned something about Mayo Clinic. Called Mayo Clinic. Mayo Clinic, we talked to a doctor. Mayo Clinic said, hey, if you get us $10,000, we can take a look at your case, and we'll see what we can do. Ran down there, gave the Mayo Clinic $10,000. They went back in, looked at everything. Mayo Clinic said, we believe that we can take 10% of the bladder out, and we can get the cancer out of you. Right, that was a direction. But in the midst of that direction, my wife and I, we had begun to change our diet. We began to change our thinking, the way that we thought. And so we got over there. They did the surgery. Now, this cancer that I have, just so that you know, I am the only known survivor of the kind of cancer that I had. And on a percentage level, out of 100%, 5% of the people would have the kind of cancer that I had. And the kind of cancer that I had, a person would have to take at least 3 to 4 months of chemotherapy to even survive. And that's not survival for healing. That's just longevity, just to live a little longer. So as far as known on record, I'm the only survivor of this kind of cancer that I had. Got what I'm saying? So this was an evasive, poorly differential, squamous carcinoma. It was a long name, bro. When they told me that, imagine how confused I was. And this cancer is a cancer that has an intelligence. Now, before all of this was going on, I had just planned me and my wife had just paid to go be married over in Florida, and then we had paid for our honeymoon in Hawaii. So as soon as we got ready to get married, this story happened. This is what happened. You know what I'm saying? And so they did the surgery. They couldn't take out the 10%. They had to take out 20% of my bladder.
Wow.
All right. And then they took 20 more lymph nodes from my body when they did the surgery. All right. So we stayed over at the Mayo. We're in Minnesota. We stayed over at the Mayo for maybe about a month and a half. And then nothing was right the whole time. I knew something was wrong. The whole time. And then just 2 months later, the cancer came back. The cancer came back and spread it in the lining of my stomach and in the rib cage of my body. And then that's when they told me that there was nothing else that they could do for me. The only thing that they could do was offer me chemo, and I needed to get ready to exit here. At that time, me and my wife, we turned down all traditional medicine. We told them that we wasn't interested in taking any more of their medicine. And we went on this journey. We went on this journey to a better health. And we, like I said, we changed the mindset. I tell people all the time, some people just don't agree with me, but I can tell you, when a man walks into a doctor's office and a doctor tells you that you have 4 months to live, I can see how a person would accept that information and then walk out of there. Whatever your mind accepts, your body's going to line up with it. So my mom, my dad, and I, we were all sitting in the room when the doctor came in, who's a friend of ours, by the way. This doctor, since then, has done he's in my book. He's done a statement. He gave a statement, and his statement is that he's never seen anything like this in his complete career. We have statements from the doctor at the Mayo Clinic. They're all saying the same thing, but now he's a believer now. This guy, he's just a believer. And you know, when you're dealing with the medical, you're dealing with science. You know, so they can't legally come out and say what they believe as far as if they do have any level of faith, they can't come out and say that. You know what I mean? So this has been quite a journey. Since then, my wife and I, we've helped, right now we're working with about 15 to 20 people around the country. We came up with a regimen that we did for my body, and what we started to put into my body, the cancer came back, I believe it was 10/2 of 2018 that it returned. And then just 3 or 4 months after that, the cancer began to shrink until right now today, when I go into the doctor's office, the doctor says that, you know how people ask, are they in remission? The doctor tells me that that remission doesn't apply to my body. They don't see any signs that there was any cancer in my body anymore. The only thing that it did was the damage to my body from the major surgeries that I had. You know, and cancer is it's very, very aggressive to the body as well. And what we found out is that some people talk about the cancer, but people overlook what it does to your psyche, to your mental, when you're dealing with cancer. So me and my wife, one of the things that me and my wife, we believe is that we believe that a great percentage of my healing had to do with the way I was thinking, with my thoughts. I never received death. When my mom, dad, and I was sitting in the office when the doctor came in, I walked to the window and I cried for a minute, and I looked back at my family and I said, no one ever repeat this again. No one ever repeated it. So it's a lot more.
I agree with a lot of things that you said. When you talk about, we have to account, like you say, in Western medicine, they often say, just like in law, you're practicing law, you're practicing medicine. So they really don't know. And you're right. A lot of us think just because you went to school for a few years and got that white lab coat, that you have a full understanding of how everything works. It's not true. Whether you believe it or not, you're right. It takes spirit, mind, and body, and sometimes soul too, because in the most ancient spiritual teachings, it tells us something our ancestors knew long before we got here. And also the reason why we have medicine today is because of them. So we can't discredit it. You notice how the doctors always tell you to get, it's always 3 things. It's get rest, stay hydrated, electrolytes, water, all this different type of stuff, and also get sunlight. Well, that comes from our ancients. We know now because of the soul, not the brain. A lot of us get that confused. The brain, for those of you who want to understand it more, your brain is a computer. It's a phone, it's a device, it's a motherboard, whatever you want to call it, laptop. And your mind is the internet. Your mind has the ability to travel throughout all the time, back and forth. Matter of fact, there's no such thing as time. That's irrelevant to the mind. The mind can find healing once it's activated from the soul, or if we want to talk scientific terms, and within the root chakra, within the stomach or the intestines.
Yes, sir.
Any doctor will tell you that's where a lot of your problems come from. It comes from what we put on here.
Yes, sir.
Like you say, passing through here, which is the nucleus, the radiator,
yes,
the
sir.
director, the information power highway. Matter of fact, in a computer, they call this a router. It would be a router.
It's a router. Absolutely.
It's routing energy and food. It's just telling your body really what to do, along with the brain. Because, and people don't know this, also in science, come from my ancestors, the stomach or the intestinal tract or the lower chakra, whatever you want to call it, that really truly is the bigger brain to the brain that's up here.
Yes,
they got this new thing now, which is old knowledge, called the leaky gut, which causes a lot of things.
Good point. You brought that up, because that's exactly, we went to a nutritionist. Sorry to cut you off, but that was powerful. We went to a nutritionist, and when we went to the nutritionist, he did something different on me than the other doctors did. He did a blood test where he read the blood. All right. After he read my blood, he told me that that's what they call it, was what you just said, the leaky bowel syndrome. Go ahead.
No, you're right. Yeah. And if you think about it, just like with your car on a tire, if your tire is leaking or you got a leaky hose, I don't care what kind of vehicle you drive, the most expensive to the least expensive, that car is going to have some problems. It's going to be some backups. It's going to be something wrong with the engine, and also while we go get tune-ups, it's the same way. It's because them spark plugs are old and dirty and filthy, and they need to be replaced. Well, that's the same thing. But however, like you're saying, reversal while you're still healthy, even though you're having an issue, is very much so possible. Now, like this you said about the nutritionist, because when I talked to Dr. Sabi's daughter, who's also a nurse, if you're familiar with him, he's real big.
He was a part of my regimen. I started my regimen with Sebi. Thank you for mentioning that, because I failed to mention that. But that was one of the first downloads that was given to me. Is at the time I didn't know much of him. I had heard of him, but when I got this news, I began to seek my higher mind as far as download, and that was one of the downloads I got. So thank you for mentioning that. Yeah.
Now, see, you said download. Now we're back to understanding the body as a form of a computer, which it is. It's a organic computer where you're getting downloads from the sun. The sun is sending out signals, just like in a fiber optic cable, which transforms light. Your hair is the same thing. It's a coil. That's why it's really, when you look at those Tesla coils, which you got from our ancestors, and your hair in your head, that's coil, or even on your face, the sun is downloading millions, if not trillions of bytes. You can't even measure it of forever knowledge and wisdom from whatever God or collective that you belong to. It's teaching us, return back to me. These houses with these artificial lighting, air conditioning units, all these things are making us sick. For us as men, keeping devices near your waist is causing a lot of those problems too, even with your testosterone levels, because it's energy. That's one thing that we have neglected to put into play, is that you got to have the right energy. The body has to resonate on a certain frequency.
Absolutely. That's right. That's good stuff, sir. And so as we began our journey, as we went on our journey, we began to get all of these things, like what you just said. We studied Dr. Sebi. We started adding all of these different things. So me and my wife, we just went on a journey, brother. And instead of after they tried to listen, can't no man give you an expiration date. No man can give any of us I didn't receive that from a man. Okay. So then after we went on the journey and we began to really, really dive in, man, we began to experiment with the things that we're supposed to put into our bodies, with the sovereignts that we had in our homes, what we put in our bodies, what we washed our clothes with. A lot of people don't understand that your body is made of alkalinity. All right. So ailment can't live in an alkalinity environment or alkaline filtered environment. All right. So me and my wife said, we're going to suffocate cancer out of my body. We're going to suffocate it now. Now, this is the thing. Now, there is, like you said, there's mind, body, and spirit. There's spirit, mind, body, and soul. It's all of it. It was my diet. It was my faith. It was my thinking. It was my spirituality. You know what I'm saying? And thank you for allowing me to be myself, brother. You got me going, and I really, really appreciate that. I tell people all the time that, and some people get mad at me. I say, and I feel comfortable with you. So I'm glad that I'm able to express myself. But I say to people all the time that I'm spiritual and I'm not religious. Now, some people get offended by that, but what I mean by that is that I try and operate from the fruit, and I'm not trying to be preachy, but I'm saying that I'm looking for a download from the Creator to be able to speak into me, as where I can hear Him speaking to me. So in essence, what you and I are saying is that we have to understand and begin to know our vessel. My body, I know when my body, see, your body is talking to you regardless to whether you understand the language it's speaking or not. Your body is telling you I need nutrients. Your body is telling you I need water. It's telling you that I need this, and your body will begin to reach for those things. But if you don't understand the language of your body, then you'll overlook all of it. So me and my wife began to position ourselves in a place where we could understand what the body was speaking for. So the only thing we decided to do, the only thing we did, we took away all of it, the dairy, everything. And the only thing we decided to do was put inside of my body what fought against what was intruding my body. And once we really went hard, my brother, the cancer began to evaporate. I went to, of course, my spirituality is far. I have a church community as well, and I have the Lord gave me wisdom to choose those that I will allow into my ear gates, because what you allow into your space and your ear gates is also a great deal of what can add to your stress and your issue. So this whole thing was a wisdom, a move of God. So bottom line is, brother, the cancer evaporated from my body based off of the regimen, the spirituality, the process. And today I am what is called from the Mayo Clinic, from St. Mary's Hospital. On paper, they're calling me, I guess, a phenomena or miracle. The medical field is saying that they've never seen anything like this before. And what I'm saying to my people is, to my brother, whoever, what I'm saying is that me and my wife have made a decision that we're going to spend the rest of our lives educating our community and our people on what it is, those things that you should be putting inside of this vessel. I want to just talk about alkaline one more time, and then I want to hear you, brother. I really thank you for allowing me to be myself today. I'm very grateful. But we need to understand that water is what you're made of. 70% of what you are is water, okay? And your body is orchestrated with alkalinity, okay? So if you're not aligning your body with what it's made of, including what my brother spoke about, which is new, leaky gut, if you are not filtering your body out properly, then it's going to hold bacteria. If you add mucus to that, then only thing that can be created inside of mucus and bacteria is disease. So listen, there is no such thing as cancer. There is no such thing as diabetes. Any ailment that you have in your body is because you have a low immune system. You're lacking nutrients, okay? They don't want to tell you this. Remember when we went to the store and you went to get lettuce, mom them sent you to get lettuce? You went to get lettuce and you look right above the lettuce and you saw kale, okay? Well, we wasn't trained to eat kale, but kale is alkalinity, antioxidants. It's the strongest vegetable that you can eat. You got me going, young man. But it's the strongest thing that you can put in your body. So we should be eating raw peppers. I'm not trying to hide anything. You know, a lot of this stuff that I'm talking about is in my book. But the journey is what I want people to understand, because we need to understand that the journey doesn't mean the end. The name of my book is Keep Living. After the doctor told me I was going to die, I went and laid down in the bed. I'm a business owner, brother. Here in Wisconsin, I own a tax company. I've been in taxes for over 20 years. And then I just shut down a car dealership. Right now, I just kind of went into the locksmith business, but I'm a business owner, and I was going to shut down all my businesses and lay down and die. I went home and laid down, and I heard something say, keep living. I got up and I haven't laid down since. That's the name of my book, by the way, is Keep Living When Death is the Prognosis. And so my wife and I, our mission with the name of my organization, if you don't mind, is Journey to a Better Health. That's the name of our organization. And our mission is for me and my wife, we are a place of refuge. We are together a place of refuge. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this tragedy that we've turned into a triumph, and then we're going to feed our community and feed our people, and we're going to show our people what we need to do. See, I'm not talking from a scientific standpoint. I'm not talking from someone that read a book. I'm talking from what happened in my life, a living testimony. So I go to the church, just jumping subjects really quick, and the pastor calls me to the front of the church, some of the community that prayed for me. And I'm standing in front of the church, and he says to the church, have you now, you know, I'm just standing there, and I'm standing there humbly, and he says to the church, have you ever read about a miracle in the Bible? And so the people was just like, yeah. And then the man says to the people, pointing at me, that this is a modern day miracle that's before you today. So listen, the creator's not done. He has the final word. He's in control. But faith without works is dead. If we want to survive and do better, then we have to make a decision to do that with our minds and with our behavior. And so what I'm saying is that we can do this together. You know, you got me going, man. Your intelligence is intriguing.
I appreciate it. Yours is too. It's good to find that somebody understands that collective thought. Because I look at consciousness as an ocean or a river, and our bodies, I have to use a computer reference again, we being computers or devices of a different type, we're able to reach up and to grab that. And like you say, that download begins to happen once you secure space in your mind. You know, just like with your phone, it's like, oh, you can't take any more pictures, or you can't download something till you clear space. You were the perfect living embodiment of that. You had to first remove some things, or like they say in Star Wars, when Yoda's like, you got to unlearn some things that you have learned, because you're not what you think you are. You have been tricked. You have been duped. You have been led amok, led astray. This is the real thing that Malcolm X is talking about.
Absolutely.
You don't understand, you're not human. You are a soul having a human experience.
Yes,
and what I learned from that is that as a collective, when you talk about understanding wisdom and light and having a foundational knowledge of health, you are your first doctor. You are your first practitioner of medicine. Just like, you know, we care more about what we put in our cars than what we do our bodies. We won't go to a gas station that is an off-brand and put that gas in your car. Well, I'm just going to call it what it is, a hood gas station. I don't care where you live at. Most people are not going to a hood gas station to put in that BMW, to put in that Range Rover. You're driving to somewhere that's recognizable.
Yes, sir.
So why are you putting that food at the gas station into your body? And a lot of us don't know. You're right. We are aquatic beings, whether you know how to swim or not. You either can swim, because you know water comes in many properties. You can either get in the liquid called water and swim. You're already walking around in the liquid called air. Hydrogen, 2 times hydrogen, oxygen creates the same water that's up here, over there. And we know it's to be true because this young man in Africa created a machine that siphons the air out of the atmosphere and turns it into water.
Yes.
So you're already an aquatic being. And you're right. Your body has to be more alkaline than it is acidity. And we don't know these potato chips, these hot dogs, these sodas, these juices, all this processed man-made stuff is drying your body completely out.
Yes,
and
sir.
now, therefore, it is suffering and it's turning on itself because, like you said, it's looking for something that's not there. What typically happens?
Yeah.
You create some type of beef or drama inside your body, but it doesn't mean that it's not reversible. If I may, just a brief story. That's why I tagged your picture on there. I had to make sure I put the distinction that you weren't my teacher. But I had a teacher who was suffering from kidney issues. They were talking about, so let's just say it's Monday. They was talking about putting this man on dialysis on Wednesday. And I guess he opened up because he was really concerned. You could tell he really was scared. And I'm like, you could reverse that, right? And he's looking at me like, are you a doctor? And I make sure I tell people I am not a licensed physician. This is from my own study, even on my own body. I know what I'm talking about, just like with you. This is not a theory. I know.
Brother. Yes, sir. Come on.
I told this man, I said, okay, we can't get any baking soda or sodium baccarite right now without the aluminum in it. Get you some of that Arms and Hammer, the kind that you can cook with, you can clean with. It's a deodorizer. It's full of alkaline. If it will clean the outside, it will clean the inside. And I got this from my grandmother way before there was public internet, because the internet been around since like 1960s. The military was using it. Right. But before there was a public internet, bro, couple days. This is Monday. By Wednesday, they told him, oh, you ain't got to get on dialysis. You good. What did you do? Yeah. So then when he came back, he was like, man, I'm feeling energized. I got more energy, because what you said was true earlier. Detox, remove, fast, intermittent fasting. I don't care what kind of fasting. They do some type of fasting. Get off them sodas. Get off them juices that's harming you. Reverse the cycle by making those kidneys. Because if you think about it, a kidney is just like a pump. It has to be submerged in water in order to work. If you're trying to use a pump that's not submerged, it's going to rattle and make all kind of noise and maybe even burn out because it's not in the right condition that's conducive for it to grow and for it to live, for it to survive. Just to make this briefly. So from there, I showed them about turmeric, ginger root, things of that nature. I seen this man a year later, and this is a real man, came up and hugged me and told me I saved his life. So I know for a fact these things work. I've had friends who have issues with eczema. I'm showing them you got to go deep in your epidermis. That's where the bacteria, that's where the dis-ease is at. You got to clear that up. Let cleanse from the inside. Let your body already is going to do the work. And one more thing that you brought up that I found very interesting. Help people with that. Yeah. When we look at this whole COVID-19 situation, for an example, the real reason people are dying, that they're not telling people, they're trying to force this shot on you. It is a deficit, like you said. You got minerals, you got vitamins, you got all of these things that's not being replenished in your vehicle or your vessel. That is the common cause of people being on ventilators and getting sick. Now, if I want you to look at a word for just one moment, and a lot of people have arguments about it, but it's still rooted in our spirituality, not our religion, like you said. Break down the word vitamins. Vita, amen. People say it in the Christian religion. They say amen or amen. People say it in secret societies. They say so moted be amen. They say it in Islam and different things. Amun, I mean. Our ancestors have been teaching us since the beginning. You have to eat and live on some type of spiritual regulatory system. When you eat in balance, like the earth, because the earth is 80% water too. When you eat in balance, and people don't know this, melanin is more than just brown and black and light skin and pecan tan and mocha and red. Melanin is also green. It is also red. It is also blue. These things, when you eat these things, they revitalize you. That's why we call them vitamins or vitamins that go back and resurrect the body. When you read a lot of these holy texts, and people don't know this because we don't study the esoteric, the exoteric, the occult in it, it's teaching you how to eat too as well. It's giving you a rhythm that you're supposed to be upon to prevent all of those things from happening. I just want to share that, but continue.
I think that's very powerful, sir. And you know, and as a student, I'm always open for knowledge, and I'm grateful for your knowledge and your input. I mean, as far as you're well versed, and that's why I'm very, very grateful for individuals like you that will go on this journey with me and my wife, because what we want to do is we want this type of conversation. My job and my wife's job is getting ready to be, this is our norm. We need these conversations to be a norm. Somebody has to be assigned to the norm conversation. You got what I'm saying? So that this stuff is a norm, that we begin to talk about these things regularly, that we live these things, that we teach our children. I got a son right now, since we started this journey, I got a son that don't even eat meat, and he's 5. He doesn't even like meat, bro. My wife, you know, the only nut that we should really be eating is the walnut or the Brazil nut. My children were fed naturally from my wife. The only milk that my children have ever had is walnut milk that my wife made. You got what I'm saying? So there's a relearning that we have to do. So that's why I'm so impressed, and I'm thankful for someone such as yourself to open up a door for this platform again, because this is the platform that we need to be presenting to the people. We need to be presenting this. It needs to be a norm for us to eat raw vegetables. It needs to be a norm for you to have red, green, yellow vegetables, orange, peppers. Peppers is antioxidants.
Come on.
You got what I'm saying? So,
right.
So I want to say to you that I'm so encouraged. You know, this is our first time meeting for me to be on your show today, but I'm so encouraged to have met you, because you make me, although I know that this is a calling that's on my life, because there's no way that the Creator would give me life and me not share life. You got what I'm saying? That there's no way, but for him to align me with someone of your knowledge, someone that will support where we're going, you just confirmed to me today that we're on the right. When I say we, I'm talking about me and you. I'm talking about us. I'm talking about this community that this frequency that no one can stop at this point, because physician, heal thyself. My wife always says, you go to the doctor can give you a diagnosis, and then you do your research to heal yourself. You got what I'm saying? Because we're not accepting death. You don't mind me saying this, do you? No. We're going to come back to our community, because we have to understand that we're not trying to pull the card here, because that's not where we are. We're just speaking the facts. We see our Black men and women and being mistreated in so many different areas, Black men being shot down in the streets and all of these different things. But please don't be mistaken that is the only form of the enemy to get rid of you.
That's right. That's right.
You got what I'm saying? You can walk up in the doctor's office and they can tell you something and you'll never leave. Like, I'm glad you brought the COVID thing up, and I don't know how much time we have, but I want to say this about the COVID. Me and my wife, we're getting ready to talk about the COVID. There's some things that you can do. See, one thing about airborne diseases is that it's airborne. Okay? So if something's airborne, you can't put a mask on and get rid of it. All right? So the only thing that we can do, bro, you feeling me, ain't you? The only thing that we can do is build our immune systems so that our bodies can withstand what's in the air. Change your solvents, put the right thing inside of your body so that you can stand the storm. Now listen, it's still some grace and some faith involved, but the only thing is we can do is put the wheel in the Creator hand, and then we can do our part, which is the works. The works is, if you go into the doctor's office and you're overweight and you're full of mucus and you're full of already sick, then when you go into the doctor's office, then they're going to say it's COVID-19. Once you go inside of that doctor's office, though, then you're by yourself. No one goes in with you. You can't bring your spouse in if you're getting, it's deep, bro. And we're going to talk about it. That's what we're going to talk about. But there's a lot of stuff that you can put in your body to begin to fill your body with the right things. But first of all, my wife also says that you have to do a reset. A reset is what we call fasting. You have to reset your body, and that's where we're going with it. That's where we're going. What we've made up our mind to do is we're going to educate people based off of what we've been shown, and we know for a fact that cancer can reverse itself, sickness can reverse itself, and we're going to share the processes that we use to do that. And like you said, brother, if no one can deny anything else, they can't deny that this happened in my life. That's undeniable. You know what I'm saying? And
second.
We got each other going. Go ahead.
It's a trickery in words and definitions. So when you start breaking down COVID-19, you see it says SARS-2. If it's SARS-2, there was a SARS-1, which was in the early 2000s when they had bombed the Chinese subway and killed all those people. But to move it backwards just a little bit, and then we come forward. The actual name coronavirus is a natural virus. All it is, like you said earlier, a upper respiratory infection. Coronavirus can be dated back to at least 5,000, 50,000 years ago. They already know this. Usually back in the days, they used to chart people with upper respiratory infections as coronavirus. Correct. With COVID-19, it's something else. And all this Delta variant, and it mutated and all those things. You're absolutely right. That's a fear campaign. Don't get it twisted. Some people are dying from it. But like you're saying, it's only because, really, to be real with you, maybe it might get a person here or two. If you didn't have a deficit, if deficiency, vitamin D, there's 3 types of vitamin D. There's 3 types of vitamin B. We don't know this. Your body is missing those nutrients. And if I have to go back and say this, your body is a computer. You cannot stop somebody from trying to hack in your computer. Not even the government. The government can't even stop North Korea. They get in all the time. But what happens though, when you get in, it's something called a firewall. That's the immune system. It automatically detects intruder, invasion. Then those white blood cells come together.
Warrior soldiers.
Come on, like your white blood cells. Yeah. They rally together, them antibodies, and they say, you don't belong here.
That's right. Get out of here. That's right. That's good stuff.
That's why we died.
That's good stuff. But just think about it though. Just think about it. I don't know about you, but how many rooms are we in this is a subject matter that's really potent. We got all this negative that everybody's seeing, and we can change those things amongst ourselves. We can do that. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm excited, man. I'm very, very excited to have met you. I'm very excited, and I would ask of you that we could moving forward, that we could be in relationship, because I love the knowledge that you have, and I heard you say some things as well today. I'm not the end all be all, because we all can learn, and that's what this is really all about at the end of the day. The thing is that hey, I'm grateful humbly, that the Creator chose me to be a miracle. He could have chose somebody else. He chose me. You know what I'm saying? And because of that, he connected me with you. And he's going to connect you with the right energy that's necessary for us to talk about these things. So those things that you spoke of today, sir, we have to have a discussion again, you and I, about some stuff I heard you say, because you bust a couple of words on me there. I think that the platform and also myself, I'm creating with Journey to a Better Health. I'm creating a platform such as similar to what we're doing, but this platform that you have is necessary. You know what I'm saying? It's very, very necessary. And you have encouraged me today, sir. You've encouraged me, and you have brought out of me some things that needed to be said in this platform. So I don't know who ears is on this, but this right here is huge, and I'd like for you, sir, to join me in my journey and to be a part of this journey, and so that I can add you to the process as well. So that's really all that I have to say, man. This was an honor. This was an honor. But we got to talk about feeling our body. And this COVID thing, me and my wife, we getting ready to get on and talk about this within the next couple of weeks, because they're getting ready to ramp it up. It's getting ready to be ramped up, and population control is not a joke. You understand what I'm saying? And it's not a play. It's not a play. It's an agenda, and it's an agenda that's not to be played with. There are mad scientists that have made up their mind that they're going to become God, and they put stuff in the air. And like for instance, there's something going on. There's something in the air. All right, it's airborne. All right, but whatever is in the air, the only thing that we can do is focus on building our immune system. So what we're going to start doing, people like myself and you, my brother, because now me and you have no choice. You can't get away from me. What we're going to start doing is we're going to educate our people on those things that they can put in their bodies so that they can withstand the storm. And a lot of it is stuff that our ancestors used to give to us.
That's right, because we are of Mother Earth. When you look at the word The Matrix, people always quoting that movie as a great reference of population control, mind control, things of that nature. Yep. The word matrix has come from the Greek, which really originally comes from us, and the whole know thyself, man and woman. The matrix is the earth. The earth is a womb. And most people don't know this. The earth is living. The earth is a living bioorganism. It responds. You can't say this not, because you talked about water. Water always finds its way home like a dog or a person. I don't care what dam, what blockage, what pipes you put there. When that stuff gets destroyed or removed, the water goes right back into its natural state. It knows where it's supposed to be. We are the only ones, because we've been tricked out of history, out of knowledge, out of science, out of wisdom, out of understanding, out of light, out of who you are. You're right. At a certain point, minus the labels, or put the labels to the side, you got to return back to Mother Earth. And you said something so very ideal. I ain't going to hold you too much longer.
I'm enjoying this, brother.
They're putting something in the air, but there's something in the ground that is there to revive you of all of that. This is what they don't want you to understand and get back to. That's why they're trying to give you all this GMO this, give you all this modified organism that. Even with that, your body still knows how to extrapolate, to pull from everything that you need. We just have to help it by pushing the rest of that stuff up out of us. Detoxing, like you said. Yeah. Intermittent fasting or fasting. Eat meat or don't eat meat. Because if you do eat meat, cleanse it back out. Takes 7 days. Every piece of bite that you put in your body takes 7 days to come back out of. Help it back out.
Powerful. That's powerful. That's the other thing that you have to have a see. They play. May I? See. You got me going, man. And listen. See, that's the other thing. See, we've been associated as a people, we have been associated with fasting as a religious thing, all right? Fasting has nothing to do with religion, all right? Fasting is about bringing your body under subjection. It's about reset. It's about cleansing, okay? It's about cleaning your body out, okay? So let's look at it differently moving forward. People, when we talk about fasting, we're talking about a reset. We're talking about, you have to go and change your oil in your car. You have to change your spark plugs on your car. All right. Every now and then you have to change the oil in your body. You have to cleanse your body out.
Which is the blood. Let me say that. Sorry, I just jump in. The blood is the oil in the body. Go ahead, because it has black from your pineal gland, your pituitary gland, when it drips, it drips into the bloodstream. That's what gives you your rhythm, your understanding. That's why you jump higher, you run faster, you're stronger. God has given you something called what we call melanin, which is floating in your body. You're right, but come on.
Yeah, that's good, man. I can't come behind that, man. I can just, but that's good. That's good stuff, though. It's like, and so I to be honest with you, my brother, I couldn't say to you that I've had these kind of conversations on a regular basis.
I understand.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
not on a regular basis. I'm talking about with us.
Definitely with us. I understand.
So look how exciting this conversation is, people. That me to sit and look at the intelligence of the, I don't mean to say people, but look to look at two brothers that's sitting here having a conversation the way we're having a conversation with intelligence and willing to do something about it. Man, listen, I just wish that people would just take a look at our site. If I can, my website is journeytoabetterhealth.com, and just take a look at us and just be a support for us as we support one another and we grow and develop. So I'm just grateful that I'm here, man. Thank you so much.
Definitely. I want to tell you thank you, and give us your social media. How do we reach out and get in contact with you?
Okay, so I am on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. If you go to my website, everything is on my website, which is journeytoabetterhealth.com, and all of my social media is on the website. I don't know them all exactly by heart, but if you go to the website, you can see everything right there. Journey to a Better Health, the number 2, abetterhealth.com. Journey, the number 2, abetterhealth.com, and you'll see us right there, and where the direction, you'll be able to follow the direction that we're going in. So thank you, man. I can't hear you.
Sorry, if I may give you your flowers before you go.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you for being on the show today, for being a true testament. And I don't care what holy books, texts, writings it is. To me, my opinion, my experience, God did not, or the Creator, Most High, whomever, did not stop making prophets because the book stopped getting published. There are everyday prophets that are walking around, people just like yourself. We know because we can look at these people, whether they be real, whether they be esoteric, it doesn't matter. These folks had problems. Everybody in all of these books had problems. But guess what? They had the ability to change, to adapt, to overcome, and be better people and no longer suffer from those problems. This is, I believe, the way the Creator is showing us. You may be imperfect as a man, but your soul is divine, and you came here for a mission. And that mission may not always line up to everybody's mouths, so to speak, because people are going to always have something to say, but it ain't about them at the end of the day, per se. It's about you and performing and showing up for God, because that's the reason why you're here on this planet. Yes, the pain is bad. Yes, all the things you went through, you shouldn't have had to, but for whatever reason it is, your essence by you being here is divine, and I appreciate you and definitely want to align with you and help wherever I can. And thank you so much for being on the show today. Before I let you go, could you please let the people know that you're on My Celebrity Life and I'm GeHolla, and we're gonna be out. I appreciate you, brother.
Yes, I am on My Celebrity Life, and this right here was a great honor to be amongst a gentleman such as this. To be on such a platform with a gentleman such as this was an honor. Thank you so much for having me, my brother, and hopefully we'll be in contact in the very, very near future.
We certainly will. I like to double tap as a salute and then give you another salute and tell you thank you for being on the show, and stay on your square and keep shining your light, my brother. I appreciate you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you very much.